Hi everybody, Jo here. Thanks for joining me again today. As always, lovely to have your company. It's coffee time, so cheers. Always lovely to spend my coffee break with you. And while we're chatting, we're going to make a design for a male crafter today, a male friend. And I've got multifarious card here, 5.5 inches square. And I'm just going to put some Lavinia low tack tape on it while we have our catch up. I always write on the inside just so I know exactly what tape I'm using. So while I just tape this round the edge, just making a border. I hope you're okay. I hope you're feeling well. A couple of you have been in touch that you're not feeling too good. Mr. COVID seems to have popped his head up again. So for those of you that are struggling, I'm going to just send you a nice little hug just from me to you. And I hope you feel better soon. Right, so we've got our nice little border there. And I'm just going to add some colour. So I've got a couple of Elements inks. Now remember, these are dye-based. We've got Henna and Sahara. I'm thinking they're going to blend lovely for this, like I say, a male. I know Tina was asking for more male cards. So I'm conscious that we need to do, think of our male friends. You know me, I'm a bit naughty. I do love my florals. But we can adapt these designs. And that's, what we do. Right, ink on the lid, in the corner first. And I'm just going to gently build my way up. Right, and I seem to have something. So I've got a couple of lines there. Let me show you. And that's probably, I'm just going to wipe. Sometimes if you get a little bit of glitter on your stencil brush, and all I'm going to do on my Inky Binky, in fact, look, can you see? I don't know if you can see that glistening. I think I've got a bit of stickles or some glitter on there. Let's try again. So on my masking tape, that's better. So I'm just, and don't worry, we'll get rid of that. Nobody will see that. Just going to go all the way around. Look, when I've got less ink on my brush, just blend it all the way around. When I ink up into this corner, because we want it darker at the base. So again, some nice colour at the base. And then as I've got less ink and I'm holding it gently all the way around. And I'm not adding too much colour to start off with. Just last bit, I think, with this. Right, I think that's built up nicely. So I'm going to come in, circle mask, and let's add the moon. Just slightly off centre. For me, it works better. And again, start at the base. And I'm just flicking the colour out. Go all the way around. And almost once I've flicked the colour, I then tend to gently do my circular motions just to blend that colour further out. Oh yeah, like that. So we'll give our mask a wipe with our Inky Binky before we pop that away. Make sure it's nice and clean. We'll put the lid on and then we'll come in with henna and a little bit of blending with henna. Might need a sip of my coffee before this. So henna is a darker colour. So just need to be a bit mindful, to be a bit more gentle and really nice. Don't hold it too tight. And we'll just come in and we'll blend. Again, start on this bottom corner. Bottom corner again and along the base. And we're just going to blend. I just want a bit of sort of darker colour at the bottom to ground my design. And it's a great way of practicing your blending. And as there's less ink, then I'm moving up a little. And then last time, I'm just going to come in along this base, just for that nice bit of grounding. We'll pop the lid on that. Now, I'm only going to use one stamp for this design. And it's the Beautiful Fairy Fir Tree. And this is the small one. Now you know me, I have to stamp sideways. And I'm going to come in with my VersaFine Clair. This is my chosen ink to actually do my stamping with. Permanent ink. We use the Nocturne, the black, a lot, don't we? So I thought we'd bring a little bit of the Pine Cone, which is a lovely brown. And I'll possibly just do a little bit of stamping with the brown first. I like to bring the two colours if possible. So maybe we'll just have this one in front of the moon there. Checking it straight. I think my tree's growing. We must have some light and the tree's not growing straight. And then I'm thinking I'll have another one here, but I'm just going to put a second generation there. So for those of you that are new, and we have got I've had some lovely comments of ladies and gentlemen that are just following us for the first time. So it's lovely to have you here. So the second generation is when we don't ink up again. So we've used part of the ink, and because it's second generation, it's paler. So it tends to push it further into the background. And it's a lovely way of helping just to create perspective. So I'm going to add a little bit of stamping now in the black, but I'm just cleaning. For me, I like to I know black's darker, but I still like to give my stamp a bit of a clean. And then we'll come in using the Nocturne. And let's possibly have one tree here. See, I don't want it to look symmetrical. I want it to look quite natural. So if we sort of add a bit of depth. So I need something there that just looks a bit bare for me. So maybe we'll just have the top of a tree there. Right, stop, walk away, missus. So I'm really liking that composition. As I say, I didn't want it to be too symmetrical. But what I do want to do is I want to flick some water. So a little bit of faux bleaching. And again, my fan brush is in my water pot. So we'll add that. And then the good thing is, while that's faux bleaching, we get to sip our coffee. And you know, it is lovely having a coffee with you. Mind you, saying that, Eric is sat under my chair, snoring. He needs to go out for his walk, or I shouldn't say that word, should I, in a few minutes. So he's going to get restless. Now, because we've added water, this is a dye-based ink, it will faux bleach. So if I just give it a bit of a dry with the kitchen towel, look, you can see that lovely effect we're getting. Now, what we want to do now is I'm going to heat this with the heat tool. I could wait for it to dry naturally, but I want to use the heat tool for two things. One, to dry this, but the other thing is the low tack tape. I mean, the Lavinia is fabulous. It won't take the top of my card, but if I was worried that it would, the heat tool, what it does is it just starts to melt the glue on the low tack tape. So as well as drying my actual card design, you'll find that your low tack tape will literally just peel off like butter, look. So you're using your heat tool has got two uses. Drying that lovely card and also just helping that low tack tape peel off, and we'll just heat tool on the back to flatten the card again. Pop that in the bin. And then you've got that beautiful design. Now, little finishing trick I want to do. I've just got, so if we get our lovely pastel pencils out, and I'm going to use the white. Now, our Lavinia challenge this month is Misty Morning. And I'm thinking if I just bring some pastel pencil in here, look. And I'm just going to add a little bit. I'm just smudging it, A, to set the pastel, and B, just to give that effect. Look, of my lovely, if I bring it closer, can you see? I've got my lovely Misty Morning. So not only have I got a nice card, but I could enter that into our challenge as well. Now I want a nice sentiment on here. And I'm thinking, I do like take time out. And I'm thinking when you sat relaxing. So we'll get the take time out. And I'm just on my scissors, as I normally do. And I'm just thinking, tell you what, we'll pop it in the middle for this one. And then I'm just going to edge it with my black fine liner. Just so it pops a little bit more. Now, you can edge this if you want with your black fine liner. I'm not going to because I like the ink, the way the ink has done the edging. And if I just bring in a card blank, and this is a 7 by 7. When I pop that on there, look. Now, I think that's beautiful. Perfect for a man's card. And you know what? I've still got my coffee. And it hasn't quite gone cold yet. I don't know about you, but I get so carried away in my crafting. My coffee often goes cold. We've got a beautiful owl stamp, you know, and I'm just thinking you could stamp the owl. That would look lovely just coming out of the design. Do you know what? So many things you can do with this. But that's my coffee break over for today. I'm just going to finish this and then I need to walk Eric. So thank you very much for joining me. As always, it's lovely to have your pleasure of your company because do you know what? It's so special when you pop in. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.